U.S. shifts strategy in military engagement across Africa. A new chapter in global power struggles. Be Noble Black News. For decades, the African continent has served as both a strategic chessboard and a silent battleground in the great geopolitical game between global superpowers. Among them, the United States maintained a dominant role, quietly embedding military bases, launching counterterrorism initiatives, and funding operations that extended its influence across the Sahel, the Horn of Africa, and beyond. But in 2025, the narrative began to shift. With the recent announcement from the Pentagon, the Biden administration now battling economic fatigue and geopolitical turbulence in Asia, and Europe has declared a major restructuring of U.S. military relations across Africa. Troops are being withdrawn from key installations. Joint training programs are being paused. Intelligence sharing is being scaled back. And most significantly, long-standing bilateral defense agreements are under review. This isn't just a policy change. It's a signal to the world. America is stepping back. But from what and for whom? The quiet rise and the strategic decline. From Djibouti to Niger, the American footprint in Africa has grown steadily since the 2000s. The continent became a key staging ground for counterterrorism operations, particularly following the rise of Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb and the spread of Boko Haram. AFRICOM United States Africa Command became a cornerstone of regional policy, and Washington poured billions into military aid and infrastructure. But critics, especially within Africa, saw another side of the coin. It was never about us, said Professor Mamadou Diop, a Pan-African scholar at the University of Dakar. It was always about them, their threats, their enemies, their priorities. That resentment simmered as US-backed regimes brutally cracked down on local populations in the name of counterterrorism. Meanwhile, security worsened. In countries like Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, insurgent violence grew despite years of American support. Many Africans began to ask, what good is this partnership? Then came a symbolic turning point. In July 2023, a coup in Niger overthrew the US-friendly government. The junta quickly pivoted toward new allies, Russia and China, who promised security without lectures on human rights or democracy. The Great Realignment. What's happening now in Africa isn't just about the US pulling back. It's about an entire continent pivoting toward something new. Russia is sending military advisors to Mali. China is building strategic ports in Equatorial Guinea. Turkey is expanding its drone exports and security training. Even Iran has begun establishing quiet relationships in West Africa. The Sahel, once considered America's front line in the war on terror, is now a showcase for multipolar ambition. The message from African capitals is clear: we will no longer be pawns. In response, U.S. officials have adopted what they call a minimalist but strategic posture. In practice, that means less boots on the ground involvement, more diplomatic overtures, and greater reliance on regional blocs like ECOWAS or the African Union to maintain order. This isn't a retreat, it's a recalibration. One senior State Department official told Noble Black News on condition of anonymity, "Africa is evolving. So must our strategy. But at what cost?" Not everyone buys the narrative of a graceful U.S. pivot. Colonel James Rhodes Rhett, who served in Niger during the peak of AFRICOM operations, voiced concern over what he called a dangerous vacuum. The moment we pull out, someone else moves in. And that someone may not respect international norms, or care about civilians, or fight terrorism the way we did. But to many African leaders, the so-called norms that Rhodes references were always one-sided. While the U.S. professed support for democracy, it often propped up authoritarian regimes so long as they aligned with American security interests. In Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, where revolutionary new leaders have expelled French and American troops, the public reaction was telling. There were street celebrations. "Western forces didn't bring us peace," says Awa Traore, a community leader in Bamako. "They brought drones and promises." Now we want dignified rise of sovereign Africa. What's emerging from this geopolitical shift is something few predicted, a new Pan-African movement grounded in sovereignty, self-reliance, and regional unity. The formation of the Alliance of Sahel States AES by Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger is just one example. These nations are creating their own security alliance, launching new economic pacts, and talking openly about shared military infrastructure free from the dictates of Washington or Paris. Young Africans are tired of being told what to do, says Dr. Leland Lovu, a political analyst based in Johannesburg. They're looking east not because Russia or China are perfect, but because they offer an alternative. This sovereignty movement has wide appeal across the continent. In South Africa, Kenya, Ghana, and even Morocco, leaders are exploring new partnerships that bypass traditional Western hegemony. What the future holds, is America gone for good? Unlikely. The United States still maintains key interests, especially when it comes to rare earth minerals, trade routes, and regional stability. The new U.S. strategy doesn't mean abandonment. It means recalibrated engagement. But the days of unilateral dominance are clearly over. We're not closing the door, said Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin in a recent statement. We're building new bridges on African terms. Whether those bridges will be strong enough remains to be seen. Perhaps this shift is exactly what Africa needs. For too long, U.S. military policy treated the continent as a security threat rather than a global partner. By stepping back, Washington may finally allow African nations to chart their own course, one rooted in sovereignty, unity, and strategic choice. And in doing so, the United States may discover a more authentic partnership, one where mutual respect replaces control, and where shared goals matter more than military might. As one Nigerian diplomat recently put it, America thought we needed saving, but maybe, just maybe, we needed space.
Uganda has suspended all military and defense cooperation with Germany. Kampala accuses the German diplomatic representative of activities that will threaten national security. This is an unexpected and dramatic announcement made on Sunday by the Ugandan army, marking a sharp escalation of tensions between the East African country and its European partners. On Friday, the Ugandan government warned that certain European embassies were supporting negative and treacherous groups. This message also targeted the German ambassador Matthias Scheuer, who, according to the official statement, is allegedly involved in subversive activities in Uganda. However, the statement does not specify the nature of these activities. Berlin has long provided logistical and technical support to the Ugandan army. Bilateral trade between the two countries was valued at over $335 million in 2023, with Germany exporting machinery and chemicals to Uganda. I was told to keep my mouth shut. I was told to stay out of it. More than 100 delegations, including those from Africa, are taking part in the 13th International Security Conference in Moscow, Russia. On the sidelines of the summit, the Secretary of the Russian Security Council, Sergei Shoigu, held bilateral talks with the President of the Bosnian Serbs, Milorad Dodik, the Secretary of Iran's Supreme National Security Council, Ali Akbar Hamadyan, and North Korea's Minister of State Security, Ri Chang-dae. During his meeting with Ali Akbar Hamadyan, Sergei Shoigu expressed hope that Iran would soon ratify a strategic partnership agreement with Russia. The Security Summit, held from May 27 to 29, brings together 126 delegations from 104 countries that are members of BRICS, the ESCO, the NAM, the CIS, the League of Arab States, the African Union, the CSTO, and international organizations.
Welcome to Noble Black News, where empowerment meets truth. Our mission is to uplift and empower the Black community. We stand for truth, integrity, and representation. Our stories are your stories, told with pride and passion. Join us as we celebrate our heritage and our future. Together, we are stronger, louder, and more united. Noble Black News is your voice, your platform, your news. We bring you the stories that matter with integrity and heart. Our commitment is to the truth, no matter the cost. We highlight the achievements and struggles of our community. Every story we tell is a step towards empowerment. We are more than news. We are a movement. Join us in making a difference, one story at a time. Together, we can change the narrative. Noble Black News, empowering our community, one story at a time.